Northern Jefferson County as well. Get ready. The storm moving in your direction as well. And again, down, kind of continuing that line, Valley Park, Kirkwood as well. Get ready for that storm. Now I can hear the heavy rain coming down here in Maryland Heights here as well as that severe storm rolls into our studios here.
Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on that rotation. This is the first tornado warning that we've had basically pop here across our viewing area. Like we mentioned, it is just over Pacific. It was located over Grace Summit initially, but as it makes its track to the east, here's some of those warnings, those locations that need to take shelter. Get to the lowest, most interior part of your home. You want to be away from doors and windows. I know a lot of Missouri homes have basements, but some apartments don't. So you just want to make sure to take shelter. If you're on, the top floor of your apartment, second, third floor, whatever it is, get to that lowest part. It's going to move into Eureka here within the next 5 minutes. So you basically have about 4 minutes maybe to take shelter. It is radar indicated. I do not see anything confirmed or on the ground, which is of good news, but that could change immediately considering the severe threat that we're essentially under for today. We're under that PDS tornado watch, and we don't get those issued very often. That is a particularly dangerous situation unfolding here, and this is the first of it now forming here for Franklin, for Jefferson, and St. Louis County. I'm going to go ahead and back this up for people in areas downstream to know what is on your way. Again, that tornado warning in effect for also St. Louis County. I did mention that earlier, and it's likely if it holds up in strength, it'll move basically towards St. Louis City. Kirkwood in the warning as well too. Fenton, High Ridge, Webster Groves likely in that warning too. I don't know why I can't find it even though I'm from there. This goes until 6 o'clock tonight. Some very heavy rains also, so some blinding rains. This is likely a situation where it could be rain-wrapped, a rain-wrapped tornado essentially. So that's also a very scary situation for those. I don't anticipate or want anybody to go out and look for it, but if you can't, because it would likely be rain wrapped. So again, moving into Pacific, Wildwood, Manchester, High Ridge, Fenton, Eureka, need to take that safe place immediately. Everywhere else, that is kind of the big spot that we need to watch is this tornadic storm, this big supercell. I'm going to go ahead and pull up velocity data so we can see inside the storm, essentially in the low to mid levels, we can see that rotation with the red and green colors. I know it looks kind of crazy, but these are your inbound and outbound winds, and you can tell where the storm is likely trying to get its act together and trying to rotate, and it looks like it's in this area right here. So let's go ahead and zoom on even further. Again, looks like it was right over, at least formed right over Grace Summit. Now moving just over Pacific and Eureka. It looks like it'll tail right up that I-44 corridor. So again, like I mentioned, maybe a lot of people coming home from Memorial Day weekend. I know it's a 3-day weekend for a lot of people, but you never know anybody's plans. So if you happen to be driving up that I-44 corridor in that tornado warned storm, just make sure to pull over, kind of find that safe spot. You do not want to be driving in this due to the blinding rains, as well as the intense lightning too. A ton of cloud to ground lightning, a very electric storm taking shape here. And this continues to be a very dangerous situation.
Mention that 44 at Pacific for folks because it is black as night in that area right now. We're working on getting that MoDOT camera up for you. Okay, 44 in Pacific. So another good one is 44 at Six Flags. I'm literally talking to our crews who are helping us get this coverage to you in the booth. You heard Haley mention, if you know somebody trying to come home, say from Cuba, from Sealville, the Huzzah, basically give them a call and say, don't, wait, find a safe space, wait where you are right now as the storm rolls in. We're trying to get you those cameras. You can actually see the low-hanging cloud cover over what used to be called Colossus. I'm not sure what the I can't think of what the current name is for the Ferris wheel at Six Flags, looking out from that MoDOT camera. So folks are trying to leave Six Flags out ahead of the worst of this getting in. There you go. There's the view, 44 at Six Flags, and look on the hillside there.
Wow.
You can see the edge of that storm moving in over the hill country there. So again, Eureka, Wildwood, This is in your backyard now. Valley Park, Fenton, and then into that western Kirkwood region, everyone in this area. And then that also includes that Highway 21 corridor up through northern Jefferson County, north of Burns Mill. I'm sorry, I said 21, I apologize. Highway 30, Burns Mill up to the Murphy area. You guys need to be seeking shelter as well. Thank you for getting that camera. At Six Flags, you can see that low-hanging cloud cover there as that storm rolls in. The other 44 looking west from Six Flags, you can see the blinding rain in that area as well. So we'll continue to try to bring you these live views. This is moving right towards 270, Haley. So we really want folks to have a heads up on this storm. So as there are other additional severe thunderstorms producing hail and torrential rains, but this is moving right into the heart of Metro St. Louis right now.
Yeah, exactly. And even in Castlewood State Park too, I know a lot of people probably got out today after the rain this morning and the thunderstorms. And like we did mention, a lot of these storms are going to be rotating. This is the only storm that looks like it has the best rotation. We continue to keep a close eye on the areas back off to our west and southwest. And so again, this is kind of going to be the big focusing spot for us here until 6 o'clock, unless they go ahead and extend that warning further downstream, which if they do, let me go ahead and pull this camera over. It's likely going to move into portions of Kirkwood, who's already in that warning, Fenton already in that warning, Lee May towards Arnold, right over that I-55 corridor heading towards St. Louis City. This is a look at Lambert International Airport on your left, on the left-hand side of the screen. Can't even make out the terminals. I'm sure that they have probably delayed flights due to how heavy the rain is within St. Anne, Maryland Heights area. I mean, these are just, this is a big-time severe weather event unfolding, and I know I keep saying that, but
the entire leading edge of this line is severe at this point. Yeah. So as these storms move in, again, a lot of our focus now on this tornado warning, as it should be with that threat of rotation, but anywhere really along that leading edge of these storms as they drop southeastward tonight, blinding rain, frequent lightning, and that threat for large diameter hail. So we want everybody to be weather aware as this kind of round two, which for us anyway is more potent than round one was this morning. We kind of missed the biggest severe weather threat this morning, but we are not missing it this afternoon. Mm-hmm.
And areas along that I-44 corridor, likely entering Pacific into Eureka, getting upwards of maybe 60-mile-per-hour winds. So it's a very gusty storm, for lack of better words, but the tornado warning continues. And again, we did mention that this is for Franklin, it is for Jefferson, and it does include St. Louis County, in particular, northwestern Jefferson, that east central kind of corridor of Franklin, and southwestern St. Louis County, again, till 6 o'clock, that rotation basically located right over Pacific. I have it circled, and again, let's go ahead and put a storm track on this, because we need to take shelter and get prepared, especially for those in that warning. So Eureka moving into your location basically now. I have this track a little further back, but get in that safe place. Same with High Ridge to Murphy at 536, Fenton roughly at 541, and likely maybe into Kirkwood if it happens to occlude and kind of shifts a little further up to the north, which I don't think will happen, but like half of Kirkwood, basically the west side of Kirkwood in that warning, areas back off to the east of Kirkwood are not in that tornado warning. But this is apparent rotation that continues to strengthen, and that'll be the case for a lot of today. On top of the heavy rains, I want to go ahead and kind of reset the scene here for folks that are just now tuning in. Severe thunderstorms, tornado warnings continue here across the St. Louis area. Let's go ahead and pull this map back so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Filling in from upwards of basically Montgomery County or northern Illinois County, tailing all the way back to the St. Louis Metro, towards Washington, towards St. Charles, all the way back towards Rolla. It looks like we now just got a tornado warning issued for Dent and for Phelps County, northern Dent, central Phelps County until, let's go ahead and put that storm track back on so I can see the exact timing. We've got a lot going on in terms of all these warnings, so keeping up with them as best as possible. But tornado warning now for Dent and for Phelps. Ooh, look at the hail size, upwards of baseball size hail. Yeah, that's a big storm. Radar indicated rotation, again, nothing has been confirmed, but that doesn't mean to let your guard down by any means. If it's radar indicated, it still means get in that safe place, especially if you did get that tornado warning sent to your phone from your location, whether it was from the Fox 2 News app or anywhere, any other way that you receive weather warnings through NOAA Weather Radio. Definitely make sure to make that safe spot and know where that is, essentially, if you happen to get more warnings, because these tornado warnings, now we're at 2. So this is the second one that we're watching, and it's kind of on this western edge of where our radar is cut off, but I'll show you exactly where it is, and let me go ahead and draw it. We're working with several different radars back here, so we have more, basically, technology and data to work with, which is of good news, but it doesn't look like that location has crossed into Phelps County just yet. It looks like it's just right over Fort Leonard Wood, the town of Fort Leonard Wood. Again, that's off in Pulaski County, so outside of the viewing area, but areas like Spring Creek, Edgar Springs, just to the north of that 63 corridor, that's where that tornado warning or that area of rotation is going to cross over. So keep a close eye on that. It looks like Franklin County was cleared from the tornado warning, which is of good news. The low-level rotation looks like it's also weakening too, which is also good news too. We like to hear that. But since the storm is still interacting with an outflow boundary, we're keeping a close eye on it. So that's essentially what's going on. The morning convection didn't really help to stabilize the atmosphere whatsoever. We had a lot of redevelopment and kind of re-energizing in the atmosphere for areas along that I-70 corridor and points south, and that's where the severe thunderstorms continue to erupt. So this will be with us through at least until the tornado watch has ended, which is at 11 o'clock. I know that there's a baseball game tonight, and maybe a lot of people wondering if the baseball game is going to get delayed. It more likely will due to the heavy rains, but eventually this line will continue its way down to the south and east, but it's making a very slow progression, Angela.
You can see we are getting pictures in from folks at Bush already that they're telling people to head to the stairwells. And that in the city of St. Louis, that storm is just north of downtown, but North City getting hit hard right now. This is the same storm that is currently rolling through Ferguson and Florissant. I brought up another one of our MoDOT cameras because that cell that you're tracking with the tornado warning in the Eureka area, I wanted to show you, this is also, we talk about 44 a lot east-west, but north-south, you've got the 109 corridor getting hit hard, and this is the view from 141 at Marshall Road. So again, you're looking in that Valley Park area along that what is typically a busy 141 corridor there, coming through that southwestern corner of St. Louis County. Happy to see that there aren't a ton of cars on the road right there. We can see how dark the sky is getting. Again, 2 tornado warnings happening right now. I've been kind of tracking things here as Haley's been focusing on the tornadic storm. If we could just briefly take Max 3 just for a second. I did want to quickly point out, again, we talked a lot about this a little earlier, but the Litchfield area, or just north of Litchfield, an area that saw 6 to 7 inches of rain on Friday between you and Farmersville on that I-55 corridor, getting hit very hard again and could be seen up to golf ball size hail. Quickly also do want to mention the Greene and Jersey County, especially in and around the Jerseyville area. Maybe also including, this is the just now to the east of Highway 67 in this area. Very heavy rain east of Jerseyville right now that has just come through. And then again, from about Troy to Winsville, across Calhoun County towards the Rosedale area. This is going to include the Highway 100 area. No warning on that storm, but some very heavy rain in this location as well, and that's tailing off towards Troy. So kind of wanted to just give you a quick update on those northern storms while Haley kind of gets the latest on our tornadic storms here going. Because a lot of focus is going to be on the southern edge of this line, but our northern edge is getting hit pretty hard as well. I'm going to try to bring up our camera in Moscow Mills here just briefly, again, to take a look at the northern edge of this storm while Haley gets the latest on the more kind of central and southern. And you can see the heavy rain here coming down just south of that heaviest batch of rain, which is a little farther north. Moscow Mills, only 5-6 miles south of Troy on Highway 61. So folks that may have been traveling to or from Mark Twain Lake, again, this is an area to avoid right now.
Monitor that tornado warned storm. There's actually two now in effect for our area, one for Jefferson and St. Louis County. We're also looking at the potential for some egg-size hail. That's a huge hail, destructive hail, I would call it. But it does look like the rotation is really broadened out, which is of some good news for us. But even with this tornado warned storm, we still have, what time is it? 5:28. We still have about 32 minutes until this warning actually expires. So we're going to stick with it. It looks like it could likely be more wind driven. You can tell that some of these winds are starting to surge out a little bit more. So we could be seeing, and I know that we have been seeing upwards of 60 mile per hour winds, but some heavy rain on top of that, large hail, gusty, damaging winds, almost destructive winds, I would call it, 70, 75 mile per hour winds, upwards of this likely good area of rotation that we've been monitoring too. Again, looks like it's just over Eureka, maybe just to the east of Eureka, as my data has just now kind of refreshed. But this is that area that I'm watching. And again, this is of primary concern here. I know that we have several cells back off to our northeast and southwest that we're going to get to, but I just want to make sure that everybody in this tornado warning knows to head to that safe place, especially with that circulation that could likely be regenerating here east of Eureka. It looks like it could just be right over that I-44 corridor. So moving east at 35 miles per hour. So it's not moving incredibly fast, but fast enough, I would say. So that'll move into Rankin, the community of Rankin, basically now at 5:34, so maybe about 5 minutes. Murphy at 5:35. Mercy Urgent Care, it's one of the urgent cares down in portions of southern St. Louis County. That'll move in your direction here at 5:37. Fenton eventually at 5:40 if this holds up. So, and then tailing towards Sunset Hills, maybe a little further off, back from that, roughly around 5:40-ish. So we continue to get all these updates.
They're going off constantly here as this line of storms, this entire line of storms is basically severe. Haley talking about ours kind of forming into a line. The more distinct supercells are now off to the south. She's kind of zooming into that area. That's why there's that concern where we have the tornado warning. Edgar Spring right now, Highway 63 over to Highway 72, Phelps County into Dent County. You need to be in your safe space right now as this approaches you. Northwestern Dent County and all of that southern portion of Phelps County along Highway 63, Spring Creek to Edgar Spring. Right now, the storm moving in your direction. You see it right there. Those are more indistinct supercells where we may be watching for a little more sign of that rotation right now. And this is our second of the two tornado warnings that we do have in place. But quickly want to mention before you go north, Haley, let me show those folks down. Go to the Piney storm right now. We have a tornado warning south of that Rolla storm. I want this to be heads up because this is, and then out ahead of it, go a little bit east for me. That's far southern Phelps County there, and then you see Bunker to Ellington there in Reynolds County. That is a new thunderstorm on the 19 corridor south of Salem. And that is going to move towards Bunker here very quickly with a severe, now you are not in a warning right now, but I suspect you will be shortly. And then I also just wanted to point these out, Piney down to Mountain View, because you see Eminence, Winona there on the map. That is, again, that's the current Jack Forks River area into that area. Eminence especially popular for campers and floaters on the Jack's Fork on the current river. If you have folks that maybe were down there for this holiday weekend, you see towards Van Buren as well, that and anywhere really into the Mark Twain National Forest. This is an area that got hit very hard earlier. Some very strong supercell storms are down there. I know that's just technically south of our viewing area, but given the holiday weekend, I wanted floaters in that area. And then also up into Reynolds County, I mentioned Ellington, not too far from Lesterville. That's the Black River. So storms are moving in that direction as well. So camping, boating, floating country down there, we need folks to be weather aware as these storms roll into that direction as well.
Yeah, exactly. And let's go ahead and I always like to kind of reset the scene. I want to show you guys our watches and current warnings without radar so you can just kind of get a good idea as to what we have unfolding here and what has been unfolding for the last hour and a half. I'm losing track of time. It's 5:30 on the dot on the Sunday evening. Tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock for areas along that I-70 corridor and south of that. Excluding Phelps and Dent County, you guys only have that tornado watch in effect until 9 o'clock, but everywhere else is until 11. We have 2 tornado warnings currently in effect for portions of, let me go ahead and get my arrow out, for Phelps County and for Dent County down to the south and west, and then one that does include southern St. Louis County, or I should say just St. Louis County in general, and now northern Jefferson County, several severe thunderstorm warnings firing off just behind those behind those tornado warned storms. So a big picture at radar. There's a lot going on, and let's go ahead and turn the lightning off. Tornado warning, especially over Jefferson and St. Louis County, likely going to be moving into St. Louis City here over the next maybe 20 to 30 minutes. It looks like it's moving relatively slow east at 30, 35. It could pick up speed, but it could also kind of decrease its speed too. I've been keeping a close eye on this area. Indicated rotation looks like it's really fallen apart, which is good news for us, but we still have that warning until 6 o'clock. So areas downstream, I'm going to go ahead and turn reflectivity back on, like Fenton into Kirkwood, Baldwin getting hit with some big time rain, as well as 2-inch size hail. Same with Eureka, that I-44 corridor. It's a mess. So this is moving east. So Kirkwood, get ready. Crestwood, get ready. Shrewsbury, get ready. Webster Groves, get ready for that too. Town and Country, Valley Park getting hit with rain. Tornado warned storm is likely, it could likely be extended as it basically gets flushed with further warm, that Gulf moisture down to the south. This is basically what it's feeding on, is this area down here that saw increasing instability this afternoon. So it just up and rotated here over the last 30 minutes or so.
Even a heads up into the Arnold area, especially right there, southern St. Louis County. So Lee May down into Arnold on I-55 as well. Want to give you a view from I-44 at Bowles. Again, that I-40 corridor. Now this area is still dry, but if you look in the background, you can see the dark clouds approaching I-44 at Bowles. So these folks that are driving here westbound are about to drive right into some torrential rain. You could see the dark skies. And then also, Justin, could we take the Busch Stadium camera right now as well? Talked about these storms in the downtown area into the city. North County getting hit very hard. This is moving into Granite City. This is hitting Pontoon Beach. It's moving into Edwardsville and Glen Carbon. The downtown St. Louis area is just on the southern edge of this storm, and you can see just how dark it has gotten at Busch Stadium tonight. The lights are all on, that dark base cloud kind of approaching. And they do have the warnings up on the Jumbotron saying, hey, stay away or get into the hallways. I'm happy to report, looking at my, you can see it there, and then also looking at our Ballpark Village PwC Pennant Building camera, you can also see how the seats are empty. So I think folks are heeding that warning to get to shelter down at the ballpark. Again, if you haven't gone to the ballpark yet, don't. Just wait at home. Let's let it get safe before you do so. I'm going to switch this quickly here to our Collinsville camera because I do want you to see, folks in Madison County, the strongest part of this storm is north of the Collinsville area, kind of north and northwest of Collinsville, and that's exactly what you're looking at here from the racetrack back to the west-northwest. You can see, let me bring on an arrow here if I can. give you a look here at the rain shaft. So that 270 corridor right now, this is torrential rain here just northwest of Collinsville. So that's likely impacting 111, 203, and also impacting the 270 corridor through Madison County in Illinois.
Yeah, and we also have a tornado warning in effect for portions of Phelps and Dent County, now includes northern Dent County, and likely would move into Crawford County if it continues to hold strength. And this is an area that gets kind of tricky when it comes to our radar site, which is all the way back towards Weldon Springs, way up to the north. I can't even get my arrow up there. And so what you're looking at here is areas, big area of rotation, probably just to the north or maybe right over Edgar Springs. At least it looks like it. So we're looking towards the mid-level of the storm, so it's hard to see what's going on in the lower levels. So likely could be seeing some big-time damage here with the hail, upwards of likely tennis ball size hail. Hail has been a big factor today. Unfortunately, we've seen upwards of baseball size. I think that's been the largest so far, and unfortunately that will just continue to be of concern. So tornado warning for Dent and for Phelps, areas downstream with the cell, that 63 corridor, that 72 corridor down to our south and west. Just make sure to take cover until 6 o'clock tonight. We're also looking at a little inflow notch. It looks like it's now.
You talked about that storm cycling a little bit, and that might be the case with this tornado-warned storm over northern Jefferson and southern St. Louis counties now with this energy. If you're in Fenton Valley Park, Twin Oaks, Kirkwood, Crestwood, Sappington, go ahead and get into your safe space right now to be safe. We still have this tornado warning that we are tracking until 6 o'clock. Haley's kind of zooming into that area. Anywhere along the Highway 30 corridor, High Ridge, up to Murphy, definitely heads up in that area. The 21 corridor as well, I'd like you to be kind of aware as well, even though you're just a little bit farther east in that area. Looks like a little maybe uptick in that circulation after. Let's take that Cedar Hill camera if we can. Yeah, that would be great. This is a little bit farther south there in Cedar Hill, but look at that sky coming in here. Cedar Hill, you're on the southern edge of that storm on the Highway 30 corridor there. But look at that threatening sky rolling in. This is a view from Northwest High School over their track and football fields. And so again, this Southwest St. Louis County and northern Jefferson County, either side of I-44, but also Highway 30 now. You need to get into your safe space. This is going to quickly move towards that 270 corner there, southwest corner there, 270, 44. So Kirkwood especially right now, but also, again, up towards Baldwin and Manchester, De Pere. We've also mentioned Crestwood as well. Folks in the Warson Woods, Glendale, and Webster Groves areas as well. This storm moving in your direction. 141 corridor, 270 corridor, Lindbergh Boulevard, all going to be north and south roadways that are going to be impacted by this. Meteorologist Chris Higgins is reporting nickel-size hail in Chesterfield. Meteorologist Jamie Travers reporting pea-size hail. She is also in the she's in the Chesterfield area. Chris Higgins in the Wildwood area. So hail is coming down.
And it looks like they went ahead, since the core aloft in this storm over Jefferson and St. Louis County, since it's so impressive, it's likely supporting the potential for, looks like it just updated, there we go, 2.5 diameter size hail, that's tennis ball size hail, right over Baldwin, basically northeast of Eureka. Eureka likely got hit with this. Valley Park getting nailed with some big hail, moving into Kirkwood. So actually, it looks like that's the reason that they continued with the tornado warning to reflect this. But rotation is still present and it's still apparent. So we're not going to basically neglect that fact, but some very, very large hail approaching baseball-size hail for areas like Kirkwood, Sunset Hills, McKinsey, Maplewood, even tailing towards Limay, Afton, about to get some big hail out of the cell. So we continue to monitor the threats here with that tornado warned storm over in Jefferson and St. Louis County, again, migrating off to the east. So that's going to move basically just to the south side of the city. It likely will impact the city if it continues to kind of grow and upscale strength here. And if it marches its way east, boom, there it goes over St. Louis County. So or St. Louis City. Let's keep a close eye on that. And let's kind of head further back up to the north, because I know we have a lot of warnings in effect, especially for areas up to the north and east, like Macoupin County, Montgomery County, 60 winds, quarter hail, heavy rains to an area that does not need heavy rain, that is just right at severe limits, so we continue to monitor that. Now off in Madison County, Illinois, big time rain and likely some ping pong ball size hail in Edwardsville, 60-mile-per-hour winds too, likely affecting Collinsville. I know Angela just showed you not too long ago that the horse race track over in Collinsville, the deep, dark, kind of scary looking skies, that's going to move in to Highland and Grant Fork, Old Ripley, Burgess, and St. Rose here within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Looks like we also have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, of course, for Madison. It does include Granite City, further back off to the west. Sometimes it gets a little hard to look at some of these warnings when you have all these bright colors. This is huge hail, and it's basically just showing us the very high DBZs, or the high reflectivity, those light pinks, eventually tailing into those white colors. And that's what we're getting in Jefferson and St. Louis County. This line of storm stretches all the way back to Washington, all the way back to St. Clair, Union, Sullivan, basically right along that I-44 corridor. So if you know anybody traveling from I-44 up towards basically St. Louis City, have them pull over, or if you can hear us, we may be streaming on KMOX. I'm not too entirely sure. Maybe we can get that information here soon. But make sure to pull over, because you're basically going to follow this rain all the way up I-44, and it's going to be a mess. So let it just get out of the way, pull over somewhere safe. Rolla getting hit with some big time rain too, and then that second tornado warned storm over Denton Phelps. It now looks like there's also tennis ball size hail in this cell. It's just a mess here today.
Warning.
Yeah. Looks like we have, once again, another that tornado warning for St. Louis County, as well as Monroe in Illinois, St. Clair in Illinois, St. Louis City, and St. Louis County. That tornado warned storm has been extended and now tracks a little further off to the east, of course, like I said, in our St. Clair and
Sirens are
Monroe.
again sounding here in St. Louis County as this new tornado warning has been issued. This does include the city of St. Louis, downtown St. Louis as well, where we do have crowds right now for that ball game that's supposed to start in the 6 o'clock hour. That will not be happening in that area right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't, rotation is not very well defined on velocity, which is always kind of hard to exactly tell where that is, but I circled little, probably mesovortices, little kind of notches and areas of rotation that could likely be moving into that I-270 corridor. Just to the north of Arnold, it looks like that tornado warned storm is not going to impact Arnold, but you are going to get hit with some big time rain and likely some quarter size hail. So tennis ball size hail for Monroe, for St. Clair, St. Louis County, and St. Louis City. This tornado warning goes until 6:30 tonight. Again, we keep checking areas and different radars, I would say, just to get a close eye on where that exact indicated rotation would be. It looks like it could be just to the west of Sunset Hills. Angela, I don't know if you can see that over towards Fenton.
Let's see.
Let's see. Maybe if I switch just regular velocity instead of SRV. I mean, there's there's likely little areas of rotation that are trying to spin within this big storm. And it is now merging, this storm is merging with all these cells back off to the west. So now it becomes a wind issue, still holding on to that hail, the hail concern.
If you are this is kind of right over Fenton right now, and there is a push of wind between Valley Park and High Ridge right now that could be 60 miles per hour in that area. So this is really the bullseye right here. Southwest St. Louis County, you need to be in your safe space right now. Valley Park, Sunset Hills, Kirkwood, Crestwood, Shrewsbury, up to De Pere, the Manchester corridor there, anywhere really in that wedge between 55 and 64, which includes all of the 44 corridor, you are in the strongest part of the storm. There's been indications of rotation, but blinding rain, hail. If we could get the camera at maybe 30 Gravois and 270 up, that might be a good one, or 44 at 270. I can see the lightning flashing in those MoDOT cameras. I know I'm asking a lot of our colleagues in the booth. I really appreciate your help. But this is looks like it's going to funnel right through the heart of Metro St. Louis. So leading edge of this, Shrewsbury up to Richmond Heights right now. And then the city of St. Louis neighborhoods here, let's see, getting you into Ellendale, sorry, excuse me, the Ellendale community. If you are in, let's see, kind of moving up that I-44 corridor, so including the Hill, the Grove, Forest Park Southeast, anywhere kind of pushing towards downtown St. Louis, let's go ahead and get to your safe space.
Yeah, we're likely measuring 50, 60 mile per hour winds.
Yeah.
With this
right over Fenton right now.
Right over Fenton, right over Kirkwood. Kirkwood getting nailed with some hail. If you can safely send us some hail pictures after the storm.
After it passes, please.
Yeah, do not go out.
I don't want to neglect northern Jefferson County in this as well. The Murphy area, you're seeing those winds as well. The 141 corridor, seeing that, the strong winds. And then a heads up for folks in Arnold and Oakville. So you're there on that 141 turn up into extreme southern St. Louis County, Melville down to Oakville as well. This storm's quickly moving in your direction.
St. Clair County, Illinois, the tornado sirens have been activated. We're also getting reports of hail in Edwardsville, and
you're looking, yeah, this is a view right now. We're giving you a look at the view. Thank you very much. This is 270 right at 44. So that busy southwest corner of St. Louis County is getting hit very hard right now. We've been on here for a while for you. I'm going to talk with you here for a minute while Haley gets some new batteries. This started out with some considerable threat for hail, and as we were afraid of, it is not switched to, but now also includes that potential for a tornado, potentially four tornadoes, and that's what we're tracking. That 270 at 44 camera, I can see cars pulled over to the side of the road. They are waiting out that storm right now. I'm going to bring up a couple of our web cameras for you if I can, and it'll take me a minute to switch them, so just bear with me as I do so. I currently have the Waterloo camera. There's a look there. You can actually see the cars pulled off to the side of the road. Again, this is 270 at 44. As we get to, I'm actually looking at this, Haley, and I don't know if you can see it with me. There may be some big ponding on the sides of that road there with that heavy rain. I wanted to show you quickly our Waterloo, Illinois camera. Monroe County is in this tornado warning, not to you yet, but if you're along Route 3 in Monroe County up into that southwest corner of St. Clair County, the Dupo, Columbia areas, the Jefferson Barracks Bridge. It is Memorial Day weekend. A lot of folks paying visits to Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery. This is an area that is right in the heart of that Metro St. Louis storm. And Haley right now looking at our other area of concern, which includes County, Denton, Phelps County with potential tornadic storms in that area.
Now our third tornado warning includes the southern, kind of southeastern fringe of Dent County. It looks like there's only maybe nickel, penny-sized hail in that, but rotation evident moving up towards Bunker. So places like Bunker tailing back towards Reynolds County, it's just moving into portions of Reynolds County. Lesterville, not in the tornado warning, but I would not hesitate to maybe find that safe place. We're still watching that tornadic storm and that tornadic cell that's developing in Denton Phelps. And hail upwards of now, it looks like they dropped it from 2.5 now to 2. So from tennis ball back towards egg, which great, it's dropped, but it's still very large hail. We need to be of caution with that. It looks like there is an area of rotation just right over that 63 corridor, now moving to the east, and it's likely moving 35 miles per hour towards 72. So this is just to the south. I'm going to go ahead and get my bearings set here for folks just tuning in. This tornado warning is just to the south of Rolla. There's Rolla right there. And there's where that tornado warning storm is. It does include Dent, but it's kind of southern southeastern Dent. So tornado warning continues. Those out ahead of it along that 72 corridor definitely need to make sure to find that safe place. We now have a tornado possible tag for another severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Crawford, Franklin, Jefferson, and Washington. I'll kind of pull this back a little bit so you can see exactly where it is. This storm right here, tornado possible, watching for rotation, but nothing has been confirmed in terms of anything rotating as well as it being radar indicated, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Tornado warned storm, Monroe, St. Clair, St. Louis County, St. Louis City. Find that safe place. I hope you got your car in the garage. 2.5-inch diameter hail. That is tennis ball size hail, working its way up towards baseball size hail, right over Kirkwood, right over Sunset Hills, right over, moving into McKenzie, I should say. Richmond Heights in the path. St. Louis City. Here's the city right there. Getting nailed with some very heavy rains. I don't know if we can pull up the Busch Stadium camera and do a kind of box picture, but there's basically a Cardinals game that's likely delayed. If we can get some confirmation on that, I know for a fact it's delayed. I just haven't heard.
Yeah, the game is not starting. They have everyone in their safe space. That is a look there at from Ballpark Village into the stadium. You can see nobody is there in their seats. Thankfully, they've been telling everyone to get to the corridors there, the bathrooms in that area, as this strong storm has really merged with that northernmost cell. Moving now, again, I'm going to put this kind of triangle picture here, south or along and south of I-64 and north and kind of running along 55, which includes all of the I-44 corridor through St. Louis City and County, is getting hit by this tornado-warned storm right now, and it will quickly move across the Mississippi River into parts of St. Clair and Monroe counties. Haley, I know you're looking at this. We have that new warning that came out for parts of Crawford and Washington counties. Again, the I-44 corridor. I wanted, if we could, to take Max 3. I want to show you this view from Steelville, which is just at the bottom of your screen there, south of Cuba. This is the view from the Huza Valley Resort. I mentioned again, it is the holiday weekend. A lot of folks trying to kick off summer, trying to camp and boat and float. Thankfully, I just saw a truck here. This looks like it's the takeout area. It looks like they've cleared everyone, thankfully, from the river. Look at this cloud, these dark-based clouds moving in here to the Steelville area. So again, we're tracking this storm. This is one of our newer warned storms with a what we call a TOR possible or tornado possible tag on it. But this one is, again, one of these areas. There's another storm to the west of this approaching from St. James. So Steelville, Cuba, Bourbon, and then north of Highway 8 there in Washington County. Heads up.
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you. It looks like we have a confirmed tornado near Oakville. There is a tornado debris signature being pulled up on this product that you can see. This is our debris tracker. It's correlation coefficient, and that's likely the debris that's being picked up, which would be tree limbs, anything that's basically on the ground. brush, whatever that may be, a confirmed tornado. It's now been observed right over Oakville. Moving east, so areas like Columbia, just east of the river. Arnold, you are just to the south of this thing, but go ahead and take cover because you never know with these things. But let's go ahead and pull up our storm relative velocity. This is the winds inside the storm, and there's the tornado itself, right basically near that 255 kind of corridor there, just about to cross over the river. Moving towards likely Columbia into portions of Monroe County. So Monroe is now, of course, has been included with this tornado warned storm.
Yeah, the Dupo area right now as well. We're bringing up 255 at Telegraph there in South St. Louis County, getting you a view of this storm right now. Working on getting that up here for you. It's just refreshing. And you can see in that camera, it's a little tough to point out exactly, but look to the upper right portion of your screen. Again, you can see that wall of heavy rain moving into this area out ahead of this. Very good evidence of rotation on our radar right now. That's what Haley is looking at here for you with first storm alert. And there's a live picture, 255 at Telegraph as it begins to rain in that area as that storm. Melville, Oakville, Dupo, she mentioned Columbia, Millstadt area as well. We're getting into some rural areas there, but Belleville and South there in St. Clair County as well. 255 and 55. Again, that's that busy interchange right there. It is getting absolutely hammered with the rain as the storm moves in.
Yeah, and we continue to watch our correlation coefficient, the debris tracker, likely lofting, God knows what, into the air several thousand feet above our heads. And I had a storm tracker on this. So areas off to the east, again, like I mentioned, Monroe and St. Clair, if you got that tornado warning sent to your